we were in the same class in high school. It was a special kind of art class for talented children, and it was kind of like all types of art combined, so people that liked theater and singing and acting, stuff like that, and people that were into fine arts, which was me. It was an experiment in our school. We were the first class with this special art program. We had extra classes and everything, and because it was an experiment, it wasn't very balanced. We had 5 boys in the class and I'd say 21, 22 girls. So I was one of the 20 girls and he was one of the 5 boys, and we had absolutely no interest in each other. Yeah, we were just classmates, you know, like all other classmates. We were in class together through the 2 years of this art class, which meant that we had all these extra artsy classes and kind of like theater, performance classes. It was really fun, and it's really fun that we did that together, even though we weren't friends, because we both remember a lot of that stuff that happened. And in fact, we were in a few of the performances together when we were kind of grouped together, so I have a couple of photos from us, just 12-year-olds, doing some kind of crazy performance. But yeah, we were together in this art class, and after 2 years that kind of got broken up, and everybody went into kind of like normal classes for the rest of high school, no more extra art stuff. So then there was 1 year when we weren't in class together, and then when we came into the same class again a year later, this was 4th grade of high school, which is age around 16 in the Netherlands. That's around the time when we became friends. We ended up in the same group of friends. At first the 2 of us didn't really talk much. I mean, it was just, yeah, we were standing in the same group of people at lunch break and everything. I'm not actually sure how he and his friends ended up with us, because we were like the weird kids. Everybody that was a little bit different looking, on alternative in our school pretty much just stood with us because we were the weird kids. So I'm not sure how he and his friends ended up with us, but they were always really kind of like nice to us. They never said mean things or threw stuff at us. Yeah, that's kind of how we got to know each other a little bit better. And then at a certain point in 4th grade, we would always sit next to each other at IT class. We both took that and we would sit next to each other, and I remember we would play this game because we were both very bored in IT class. It was way too simple. I was really good at it, he was really good at it, so we always finished our assignments way earlier than the deadline, so we didn't really have anything to do. Well, we had an assignment in Dutch around the same time. We were analyzing poetry, and we both thought, no offense by the way, but we both weren't really into it and thought it was a little bit silly to kind of overanalyze everything and look for like hidden meanings and everything just everywhere. We were kind of poking fun at that, and we would play this thing where one of us would come up with a completely nonsense poem, and then the other person had to analyze it and kind of like look for a deeper meaning and everything. And we had so much fun doing that. And in fact, I am pretty sure I downloaded that whole thing off of my school account when I left high school, but I don't remember where it is. Maybe it's on one of my old computers. I just don't remember. We did that for a pretty long time, and we had a load of poems, and it was really fun. And then at a certain point, I'm not exactly sure actually if this was before or after the poem thing, but I went through my kind of, I'm a big fan of Japanese pop culture phase, and I was listening to J-pop and K-pop, and he noticed that, and he was like, hey, my mom has this kind of teach yourself Japanese book at home, and he asked whether I'd like to learn some Japanese, and I was like, oh yes I do. So we started learning Japanese. He started teaching me Japanese. It was actually kind of strange looking back. He would make me like literally make exercises for me, and I would do tests and he would like correct them and everything, and it was so much fun. I was pretty good at it too, and it was just lots of fun. At a certain point we stopped, probably because of like exams and everything. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. So that is kind of how we became friends. He taught me Japanese. Not that I know Japanese, by the way. Yeah, like I mentioned, we were in the same group of friends and we never really met outside of school. I'm going to use this palette, by the way. This is the Sleek Storm palette. So we never really met outside of school or did stuff with just the two of us, except for kind of like in the IT class. I would also sit next to him in English, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. And I was okay sitting next to him in English class because I knew that he would be one of the few people that wouldn't cheat off of me in English class. I hated when people cheated off me, especially in English. So I don't know why, actually. Maybe because I thought it was actually important for everybody to learn English themselves, but yeah. So we were friends, kind of. And then at a certain point I turned 18. So this was a couple of years later, and I held a birthday party and a party. I just wanted to celebrate, so I kind of invited all of my friends over to go to Amsterdam together, just go clubbing. Yeah, I would still occasionally go clubbing back then. I never really enjoyed it though, but this night was really fun. Actually, I think this is my best night out ever. It was loads of fun. All my friends were there, and I invited Robert and some of, like, you know, his friends from our group of friends. So it was really fun. But then, but sounds really dramatic. But at a certain point, he showed interest in me in a way that I had never considered before. And I was a little bit taken aback by that, because he was, how shall I put this? Friend-zoned. Friend-zoned pretty deeply. At this point I was 18 years old. I had never had a boyfriend before, and there hadn't been many boys that showed interest in me in that way, and that oh, this is going to sound so mean, but that I wasn't completely repulsed by. I don't want to sound like a terrible person, but I'm sure you know what I mean. They're just like not my types at all. Usually the people that would show interest in me were drunk British tourists in Amsterdam. And then like friends of friends of friends that were just really weird and creepy. So there was never anybody I was kind of willing to accept that type of attention from. But with him, at first I was like, whoa, this is weird. I mean, I've been friends with this guy for a long time. But then, as time went by, I realized that I kind of liked that attention from him. So I decided to kind of accept it, roll with it, and see where it would go. And nothing much happened after that for a while, until one dramatic night where we went clubbing again, and our group of friends kind of split. And if in hindsight, that was the moment when we kind of crumbled and fell apart. I don't want to go into too much detail, but it was really dramatic. I was really angry with my friends at the end. You know what? Let's put it this way, there was stuff involved that you expect to find in Amsterdam, and I was not okay with that at all. I wasn't told. It was happening behind my back. I was furious. I left. I called my dad to come pick me up in the center of Amsterdam at King's Day back then. Drama. It was terrible. And bottom line was, Robert and his best friend were in town as well, and they couldn't find us, and it was just terrible, and I felt so bad. So next day I texted them and I said, we need to talk, I need to apologize. So I went over to his best friend's house where Robert was as well. We talked. I kind of explained what happened and that I was not okay with anything that happened that night. They were like, yeah, it's cool. I was supposed to head into Amsterdam with my friends, but they were just not feeling well. Surprise, surprise. So I ended up going with Robert and his best friend and another girl that actually not long afterwards ended up being his best friend's girlfriend. And I believe they're still together as well. We don't really talk to them anymore, but yeah, that was nice. So we went to Amsterdam on King's Day and it was really fun. And that is actually the day when I realized that I definitely did have feelings for Robbert that were more than just friendship. So that's when I decided I kind of wanted to pursue this a little bit more. And yeah, then the whole kind of awkward, do we like each other, do we not, what are we phase started, and it's like, are we boyfriend or girlfriend? And it took a couple of months for us to figure out what was going on, and that we did in fact like each other, and it wasn't just one-sided from either his or my side. And then at a certain point we just decided that yeah, we probably are boyfriend and girlfriend now. But as this was all kind of very gradual and not your typical start of a relationship, we never actually went on a first date. There is one date or a thing that we did together that I consider our first date, but he doesn't, so yeah, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that was the first time that we did something together, just the two of us. I think that was our first date, but I'm not sure he even thought of it as a date back then, so I'm not sure it counts. We don't go out on dates much anyway. Part of that is financial. We were both students until pretty recently, or well, he was a student until pretty recently. I've been graduated for a bit longer, but I am a professional YouTuber with not that big of a reach, so you can imagine my financial situation. And yeah, he always studied, so we couldn't go out on dates too much. And then we also don't really enjoy going out that much. I will just as happily stay in and just watch a movie or something, so that's what we do a lot. We do go out to eat every now and then, but not often at all. Maybe twice a year. That's okay with me. When we do go out on our occasional dates, we usually take a whole day out and just go to a zoo that's far away or a theme park for a whole day and kind of go on a date like that, and I'm completely fine with that. We are actually going back to the Efteling again next week for my birthday, pretty much. It's going to be the day after my birthday. I'm just so excited for that. I can't wait to go to the Efteling again. But yeah, now you know how Robbert and I met and got together, and it's been almost it's over 5.5 years now. Who would have thought? If you would have told us at 11 and 12 years old when we just met where we would be 12 years later, I think we would have been pretty shocked, both of us, and I don't think we would have believed it. But yeah, it is really, really nice to be with someone that you've known for such a long time. Even if we weren't actually friends, we have known each other for the majority of our lives, and it is just, like I mentioned, really nice to have someone to share those memories with, even from like way back, because he was just there, even though he wasn't my friend from the get-go. He was there when most things happened, and he remembers like all the phases I went through, because I was quite out there, especially for the town where we went to school. People weren't used to people looking so different. Yeah, but it's just really nice not having to explain anything from your past, because he's seen it all. He's been through it with me pretty much. Sorry for the noise, I'm trying to pick out a lipstick. I think I'm gonna go with this one, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed hearing the story of how we met and how we got together. I hope you have an amazing Valentine's Day, everybody. Enjoy your day, be safe. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You can do that by clicking here or on the red button below. There is another video here that you may also enjoy. You can go watch next. Thank you for watching again. Have a happy Valentine's Day, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!